I make a ton of videos about how I cruise for a lot less using casino marketing offers. So free cruises, free play, and a lot more. And all of that is predicated on something called ADT. But have I been missing a really important part of it? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up? My name is Chris. Thank you for joining me on today's video. I really appreciate it. And as you know, if you've seen my channel before, I'm always trying to find ways to get onto cruise ships for a lot less. So using the casino to generate marketing offers by playing in the casino, but trying to spend as little as possible. And then other tips and tricks to minimize costs so I can cruise a lot more. The main way I cruise is through casino marketing offers. So basically those are the mailers that you get or the emails that you get that offer you, things like free cruise for two, free play, free drinks, and a bunch of other great stuff. It isn't the only way to cruise for free. You can definitely do things like instant certificates, which are you earn a certain amount of credits during a cruise. And then once you get to a certain gate, you are awarded a free cruise. But those, generally speaking, can be a lot more expensive, and you may not really even save that much in the end. Marketing offers are different because they are built on ADT, average daily theoretical. I go way more into ADT in a video, which I'll share with you in the description. But there's one kind of thing that I've been missing in the whole equation. Not to say that I haven't been successful. I've had over 30 free cruises in the last 5 years, but I didn't 100% understand how I was generating them because I was leaving out this key piece. So what kind of started this whole thought in my mind was I often get questions like, how fast do you push the button? Is it only when your card is in the machine? Can I just put my card in the machine and sit there for, 3 hours a day and earn free cruises? And it came to realize that that was the part of the ADT equation that I was definitely missing. So really quickly, ADT is the house advantage. So that would be, how much the house expects to win on average of your bet. So, if the return to player is 93%, they expect to get 7% of your bet over time. Bet level would be, how much you're betting when it comes to slot machines. So, 25 cents a spin or 60 cents a spin or $1 a spin. And then finally, time spent playing. So the longer you spend in the casino, the more the casino thinks that you're going to lose because everyone eventually loses in the casino. So that makes your ADT more attractive. But these questions that I was getting kind of really illustrated that I was missing that one part of ADT that I wasn't really showing in my videos. And that would be in the bet category. So we already know what the house advantage is. It's pretty easy to track how long you're playing in the casino. But when it comes to bet level isn't just how much your bet is every time you press the button. Bet level is how much you are betting per hour, or something that's called coin in. Really quickly, coin in, I'll give you a quick example. So let's say you put $10 in a slot machine. You spin through the $10 and you end up with $6 after your original $10 is gone. You spin through that $6, you end up with $3, and then you lose it all. So even though your original investment was $10, you spent that $10, you spent the $6 that you got back, and then you also spent the $3 you got back from that. So your coin in for that session would be $19. So even though I don't know the actual calculation that Royal Caribbean and other cruise lines are using to make ADT, like what weight each thing has, I do know that your coin in through your session does matter. Doesn't matter how much money you put in. Let's say you put in $10 and you hit a major, you won $600. You played for 8 hours on that $600 and you ended up with like a ton of coin in, like $1,200 or $1,400 over that amount of time. That's going to be really attractive to the casino, even though your initial investment was only $10. On the flip side of that coin, let's say you took $1,000 to the high limit section. You threw it in a slot machine, you did $250 bets, you spun 4 times, and you lost it all. So you probably would have only been playing for, 5 minutes, if that, probably less. And even though you lost $1,000, your ADT would be terrible, because even though you have a large initial investment, your coin in isn't great. And also your time spent is terrible. So those two things are definitely going to negatively impact that ADT. So having said all that, I realized I know what my average bet per hour is. So my average coin in per hour, because as you've seen through my videos, if you've been watching my channel, I go through and show you my performance in the casino day by day on these cruise ships and what I end up with. So I already know how long I've been spending in the casino and how many points I've earned. Points are worth $5 for Royal Caribbean, $2 for Princess and Carnival. So just doing some simple multiplication, we know what my coin in is, or the money I've cycled through the machines during my cruise. So I can take that coin in and divide it by the time that I spent, and I can come up with a number, which would be my average bet per hour. So let's do that. I've selected 5 cruises that I've been on in the past, I think year or year and a half. And we're gonna go through exactly what I put in for coin in, how long I played, and what my average bet per hour was. And then we will average those 5 to see, kind of what I've been spending per hour on these cruises that have allowed me to get practically unlimited marketing offers. All right, so let's start with my latest cruise, Wonder of the Seas. So I earned 1,119 points on that cruise, which times 5 is $5,595 total coin in or through the machine. I spent 22 hours and 45 minutes in the casino on that sailing. So my bet per hour was $245.93. Next one up is Star Princess. I earned 3,127 points. Remember, with Princess, it is $2 a point. So we multiply that to get $62.54 for my coin in. I spent 22 hours and 15 minutes in the casino. So my bet per hour was $281.07. Carnival Frenzy. I earned 1,519 points. That is also $2 a point, so that's $30.38 for coin in. I was in the casino for 13 hours on that cruise, and my bet per hour was $233.69. For Freedom of the Seas, I earned 652 points. It was a shorter cruise, which means my coin in was $32.60. I spent 14 hours and 45 minutes in the casino, and my bet per hour was $221.02. And then finally, Wonder of the Seas from 1 year ago, I earned 1,479 points, which means I cycled $7,395 through the slot machines. I spent 19 hours and 45 minutes in the casino, and my bet per hour on that ship was the highest of all of them. It was $374.43. And part of that is due to the fact that I must have won like $1,400 on that cruise. So if you take the average of all of those, you end up with a total average bet per hour of $271.22. That number actually kind of surprised me. I didn't actually see myself cycling that much money through the slot machines every hour, especially considering on average on Royal Caribbean, my win-loss statements show that I usually lose an average of $50 a day. So now we got something else to work with. So we already know that I get practically unlimited marketing offers from Princess, Carnival, and Royal Caribbean. And you can see there was a selection of all those ships in my examples here. And I gamble about the same on all of them, give or take. We already know that I try to spend 3 hours a day in the casino minimum. And now we know that on average, I cycle $271.22 through the machines every hour that I'm in the casino. So this is a good start. Now, we don't know where these are in the gates, right? Can we go down to $200 an hour? Does that work? Can we go down to 2 hours played in the casino per day? I'm not exactly sure. So these are the things that we still have to, answer, which who knows if we'll ever get the answer. I don't know if I want to risk my offers in order to find out. But if you have experience and if you're a nerd like me and you track this kind of stuff, I'd love to hear your results. Because if we could ever find that sweet spot of cycling that bets through per hour and how many hours on average per day we should spend in the casino to keep getting marketing offers, then we could cruise for even less, which would be pretty cool. So there are a couple other things that I can do to get even more accurate numbers. And I've kind of resisted this because it's actually going to be kind of a pain in the butt. So I start my timer for how long I've been in the casino every day, when I walk through the door, and then I stop my timer when I leave. So within that time, I'm walking around checking out the machines, I'm watching other people play, I'm at the bar, I go to the bathroom, you do all of those things. So not all of the time that I show is actually active card in playing slot machines. So for my next cruise, I am going to try as hard as I can to keep track of all the time I am card in, actively playing, to get that more accurate time spent in the casino number that we can work with to see a little bit more accurate numbers. Another thing that I have done in the past, but I stopped doing, and I'm not sure why I did, is doing a percentage of time played in the casino versus time available to be played. Now, if you're talking about something like Las Vegas, you don't worry about this calculation, right? Because casinos are open 24 hours. So when they're doing their ADT calculation, they're seeing how long you're playing, how much you're cycling through the machines, and they're using 24 hours as the biggest available time to measure it against. With cruise ships, this isn't the case. Many of the smaller ships' casinos close at like 3 a.m. There are some of the bigger ships now that allow their slot machines to run overnight. And basically, if you win a jackpot, you get a chit that you can cash in when everybody returns to work the next day. In many ports, they're not allowed to have the casino open. So like the United States, Nassau and the Bahamas, even though Coco Cay, they remain open, Mexico and other places as well. You cannot be open when you're in port. As a matter of fact, you must be 12 nautical miles away from shore in order to have the casino open. So that's going to impact the total time that a casino can be open in a day. Sometimes the casino's only open 7 or 8 hours, depending on what the itinerary is for that day and what the size of the ship is. So on this cruise, not only am I going to track every time I've got my card in the machine and I'm playing, I'm also going to determine the hours of operation for the casino for that day and give a percentage of the total hours available played, because I think that does impact ADT as well. Remember, I keep learning. Just as hopefully I help you along on your journey, I learn new things every time I cruise, every time I watch other videos. I just experience things and I learn as I go. So please forgive me if I get things wrong, because I'm just trying to give you the best information that I know. And if you know something that's different, if you have any facts that you want to share with me, I love to see them in the comments, because I love to learn and then share those with everybody here. If you found this video valuable, please consider giving it a like. And if you want to see my new improved metrics, my next cruise, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you have the notification bell on so you know when that video comes out. Thanks again for watching.